I was on Jared Holt's podcast the other day. What's the name of his podcast? God, it slips my head. But he is from Southern. What is it?
Shitpost.
Shitpost.
The podcast
is from Southern Poverty Law Center. He follows all these right wingers, basically. One of the things that we were talking about was it's hard to know whether, like how these things work, but there has been like some sense that a lot of these figures are trying to get back into the mainstream and reposition themselves for this upcoming general election. You have Milo Yiannopoulos outing Richard Spencer. Did we play that audio?
No. Wait, he outed Richard Spencer as a racist?
Well, I mean, the fact that
Shocking.
he did it was a way of making it seem like I'm not like this guy. Mike Cernovich branding himself as a documentary filmmaker, joining the IDW and trying to be Gavin McInnes, when he was doing that last summer, was trying to be a moderator. He's just a moderator because he's so moderate that he could be a moderator of a debate between me and someone on the right, because he's a moderator. He's a moderate. And Turning Points USA, of course, has had a lot of problems with racism in the past. They've had numerous chapters that they've had to jettison. There were chats back and forth, anti-Semitism too. I think I remember one quote on one of their chats in one of their chapters was like, don't hate Jews for no reason. And of course the right has not been terribly welcoming to gay people, specifically that they would have rights in the form of marriage equality. That has changed. They lost that fight, and now they have basically transferred it on to transgender people. It really is just they have they have this sort of like one size fits all, and they just dropped it on somebody else. And now Turning Points USA is getting trolled by some of their own sort of purity testers. It's basically the dynamic that's going on there. But on the right, they use it to moderate themselves on some level. And I think that's, part of what's going on here. Why you have Charlie Kirk on a stage that says culture war, and he is brought on a black guy who is gay, I guess, to argue that like they're with it. We're with the young people now. And they were interrupted by what are known as groypers. And I don't know what that...
I thought those only existed on the internet.
It's a Pepe-related sort of imagery.
These are basically the alt-right and fundamentalists. And there's this guy, Nick Fuentes, is that his name or something like that? Who is like one of these new guys who are trying to make their name in it. And so this went down. And what's fascinating to me is both how much I think Charlie Kirk likes this, because it repositions his group as not being like these people, but also the inability for this guy who's being attacked to respond in a way that he feels like he has to justify his presence there by watch this. This is at Ohio State University just a couple days ago.
How does anal sex help us win the culture war?
I'm going to let the gay man answer.
Wait a minute. So can I ask you a question? can you have the balls to ask the gay man on the stage that question and don't defer to him? So ask me that question. I will answer you that question.
How
so
does...
I'm going to answer you. You already asked the question, so I'm going to answer that question. I'm going to ask you that question. This is America. This is the greatest freaking nation in the world. We realize that America is great because we have Western values. We realize that, no, let me finish, dude. We realize that gays and lesbians are able to contribute to American society in the same way that everybody else is. And let me tell you, when you continue doing that, okay, you realize that we are here. We are able to do everything. And let me tell you something as well. I served in the military, right? I served 5 years. I did an Iraq tour. What's up?
How does homosexual sex help us win the culture war?
Who said homosexual sex helps you win the culture war?
That is the question that I'm asking. Why are you promoting it?
Well, it's a BS question, and you know it is. It's not. It's a question that is not being. It's not a good faith question.
So I'm going to be honest.
It's not a good faith question.
Rob, honestly, I don't care what two consenting adults do. So that's
the whole thing.
And your hyper focus on it is kind of weird. Thanks for being here.
You seem to be really interested in gay sex. I'm pretty sure if you're into that, you can.
Yeah, it goes on to say if you're into that, you can find somebody. Now, I got another answer for you if you want to know how anal sex or promoting anal sex will help you win the culture war, because young people who determine the culture
doing mad butt stuff
have if they're not into butt play, they're butt play friendly. But more than that, it's like wake up and smell the coffee. The culture that you're defending belongs in the dark ages. And frankly, if you look around at your fellow Americans, if you want to win the culture war, you got to be on the side that's winning. And that is where people do not need even to say that gays and lesbians contribute to the American ideal. Who cares? They don't have to contribute to the American ideal any more than non-gays and non-lesbians. The bottom line is, you want to win the culture war? Get with the culture. The culture is, we realize there's no problem. You're living in the dark ages. But it's weird on some level because the guy doesn't feel confident enough in saying that. Yeah. Right? I mean, he feels like he has to, and he's right.
I think that guy was in pretty good faith, actually, when he was asking that question.
That question was totally in good faith. In fact, even when Charlie Kirk came up with the sort of like, I don't care what happens with two consenting adults, but of course he does. Right? Like, because there's other things that he has issues with. It's just that he knows that this is a political issue that he's going to lose on when he's trying to deal with college kids. Even the smattering of applause you get in that room is indicative of why that guy feels self-conscious about trying to answer this question.
What is the move here? Like, has Trumpism really decreased so much in popularity that these far-right figures are now running to the center?
I don't think they're running to the center.
It's good for plausible deniability.
But I will
they
tell
sound
you,
like liberals.
Here's my prediction. If Trump loses, we're going to be doing a lot more libertarian debates. That's the way this goes.
Oh boy.
That's the way this goes. It's going to be a lot more.
One note on the Milo thing, I would give him the same challenge I'd give to the Never Trump Republicans, which is that if you really want to help out, start publishing. I mean, that's a start, right? The leaked audio of Richard Spencer being how we all expect him to be behind closed doors. But how about like correspondence with Robert Mercer or things like that? Like publish all of those receipts. And then, because
Stephen
frankly,
Miller.
if I turned on the left, I would be publishing all sorts of like emails from Michael and stuff like that. Right?
From Michael?
Or from you, or from all you people.
Wait, what are the emails you would publish from me?
I'd have some good stuff, probably.
Are you serious?
No, I don't know, but
from Michael, yes, not from me.
But like,
take good care of this one.
That would be where the value would be, right? Like, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Put your former mouth where your money is. I don't know.
Well, hopefully this is a sign that the Overton window is shifting a bit, at least, so that I don't know, maybe someday the Democratic Party will realign itself into a workers' party and the Republican Party will be where the Democrats are now.
No, I would look to be Turning Points USA to be a pro-gay, sort of very border fascist party.
Yes.
For the next 20 years.
Yes.